Hello and welcome back to the channel. Going over a few quick commands that are used in AutoCAD is what we're going to be going over in this particular video. What I would like to do is simply begin to just plop a couple items on my drawing space. Right now we are in the model space where we have a couple of rectangles and circles drawn on my drawing space here. The first thing I want to go over is just different ways of being able to select the items that you want to move and do different things with. Manipulate, move around, modify. When you want to select something, you can simply use your mouse and left click right over items, just with a simple left click. And once you have these items selected, you will see that they will highlight in blue. You will have your blue grippers. From here, you can do whatever you need to do to these items that were selected. You can go to any command, like your move command, and go ahead and begin to move things around. If I want to select something and erase it, I can erase it. And we'll talk about erasing in a moment. But other ways of selecting your objects is to use something called that selection window. For the selection window or the cross window, you can go from left to right or right to left. Going from left to right, this is called that selection window. And what I simply did was pick anywhere on the left side of this rectangle with my mouse, pressing down my left click one time and releasing it to pick that spot. And then I'm just dragging my mouse. Now, as you can see, as I drag my mouse, I have a red border, but inside I have a blue box. And once I hover over whatever I want to be selected to the right side, I can simply left click to release it. And as you can see, now this rectangle is selected. And once again, I can pick any command and do what I need to do, like move around if that is my choice. Another way of selecting items is to use, remember, that cross window selection. And that is doing the same thing with your selection window. However, you're moving from left to right. Well, excuse me, from right to left. And on this time, I'm just clicking one time to the right side of this rectangle. And as I drag my mouse, I get a green border. And that green border, or everything that is inside of the green, when I left click to release, again is once selected, and I can do whatever I need to do. So the three ways to select items is to just click on the actual item. Use your selection window from left to right, or use your cross window from right to left. When you want to erase objects, you can simply click on your object by selecting it in any way that you want to select, and you can go to your erase command, and boom, the object is erased. Showing it again with a selection window. As you can see, I have to get all of that in there. Again, pressing erase. Or you can go ahead and use your erase command first. If you look at the bottom of your screen, it says erase. So select the objects you want to erase. Clicking on that object, as I hover over it, it begins to get distorted. Left click and then press enter or right click, and your object is now erased. Another quick way when you're in a hurry and you're just moving through things is you can select your object and you can simply press delete, D-E-L, on your keyboard. What I'm going to do is kind of go through, erase some objects. And then I'm also going to move some objects around. I'm going to scroll out using my wheel on my mouse and scroll back in. Remember, when you pull in a rectangle, you have an object that is 1 unit when you use that rectangle command. When you click on this rectangle, it selects everything. But if you want to break up this, you will use something, remember, that is called that explode command. What I'm going to do here is go ahead and make one of those 3D or 3-dimensional rectangles or boxes. But I want to hide these lines inside, right? I want to hide the line that goes down here vertically and then horizontally across so that it looks like it's just one cube. To do that, you would think that, oh, I want to go ahead and delete. But I can't delete or erase just these lines because remember, they came in as 1 unit. So what we need to do is to explode. And that explode command is to go ahead and select your object that you want to separate and make all of these lines individual. I will select that object and go to this command right under your pencil. It's called explode. Left click to select it. Once I've selected it, it now is no longer selected, but as you can see, all of the lines are separated. So from here, I can go through and begin to erase the objects that I want to. Using your erase command by clicking it first is always good because you can select everything that you want to erase. And once it becomes distorted, you can right click to delete it, or you can press delete, or you can press enter. Let's show that again. Selecting explode, and now delete or erase the objects you no longer want. If I need to check a measurement, we have a few options. When we want to just do some quick measuring, you can go over to the utilities at the top in your home ribbon, go down to where it says measure and just select quick. And as you can see, it brings in this yellow horizontal and vertical line, which is that tape measure. And as you hover into different areas of your drawing, you can see your vertical dimension and then also your horizontal dimension. And you can begin to go around and measure whatever you need to. You can even go ahead and begin to measure using that utilities. And if I want to specifically talk about this circle, I can go down to the radius. I get the icon to select inside or on that actual circle. And now I have my radius dimension. Another way is to go ahead and select the object that you are trying to get the measurements for. Go ahead and then right click. If you scroll down to where it says quick properties, this information box will populate on your screen. And all of the information about this circle is found. And you can also find what that radius is and what the diameter is, and as well as the circumference and the area and a lot more information as well. I'm just using my wheel on my mouse to scroll in and out. It's recommended that when you're working in AutoCAD that you do have a mouse with a wheel on it. This wheel really helps you move in and out of your drawing quickly. But if not, you can use other commands like zoom. By typing in zoom, you can go ahead and you get that magnifying glass and you can zoom in to a specific spot. Or you can zoom out or in again. So using that zoom command is always good. Another thing that I want to cover again here is using a pan tool. If I just type in PAN, I get something that looks like a hand as my marker on my screen. And I'm just going to go ahead and hold down my left click and then just move my drawing around on my drawing screen, and I'm panning and moving. As I want to move more, I'm just holding this down on my left click, moving my mouse, release, hold down again, move to release, and you can move around your drawing in lots of ways. If you happen to ever get stuck in a drawing and you're very close inside and you need to bring everything back to the forefront, a quick way to do so is to zoom all. And if I simply type in Z, enter, A, enter, it brings everything back to a forefront and I can see everything that is on my screen or in my model space. You can also accidentally zoom out too far from your drawing and you're having a hard time getting back into it. Again, you can type in Z, enter, A, enter, and it'll bring everything back to the forefront. At this time, another quick command that is great to go over is our construction line command. If I go ahead and select everything, again, using that cross window from right to left, I'm going to go ahead and select everything on my screen, and I'm just going to erase it all, and now I have a new surface ready to create something else. Going down to that draw and using your construction line, I can select my construction line or X line. I'm going to specify that I would like a horizontal line. By pressing H, now I have a horizontal line populated on my screen and I can place it anywhere. And no matter how many times I place this line with my right click to drop it, it's always going to be that construction line. And remember, if I scroll out, these are lines that go to infinity. They're never ending. I normally use my construction line as guidelines to when I am creating things on my screen. That way I know which lines to delete and they won't get mixed up in my drawing. You can also create vertical construction lines by typing in V after you select that construction line. And as you can see, now I can just drop multiple vertical lines in my model space. Again, these lines are never ending because they are those construction lines that extend to infinity. Again, selecting everything on my drawing. Oh. Scroll into it. I'm stuck in a command. There we go. To clean up my screen, I just did a little erasing. And I'm going to go back to that construction line here and drop it. Another command is that offset command. When you want to offset or duplicate something at a specific distance, you can offset it. It's almost like copying it, but not technically a copy right away. So if I choose either to use my offset command here, I'm going to select that icon, look at the bottom of my screen or in your command bar, and it asks you to specify the distance. So let's say I want this vertical construction line offset 5 feet from the one that's already on my screen. So I'm just typing in 5 feet, pressing enter. Now I'm going to select that construction line, and as you can see, it jumps automatically 5 feet in one direction. But if I want it on the other side, I just move my mouse to the side that I want that construction line offset to. So let's say I want one on the left side. And then again on the right side, I can just press enter or my right click to go back into the command. Again, select it and drop it to the next side. When I'm all done, you can press enter, right click, or escape to come out of the command. You can also use that construction line And instead of typing in H for vertical, well, H for horizontal or V for vertical, you can type in O for offset. And then again, you will give it a distance. We're going to change that distance to 3 feet. And then again, you're going to select your line in which you want it to be offset. It jumps to the side that your mouse is on, and you're set to go. And you can choose another line or to stay in that command. Again, the 3 ways to come out of this command is to right click to come out, press enter, or escape. Using this pan tool to move on, I'm going to just slide that drawing over. If we had a rectangle drawn and I want to have this vertical line of my rectangle specifically offset a certain distance, I can again use those construction lines as guidelines. For instance, I can go to my construction line and type in O for offset. Remember, this is 1 unit, so I can't offset it. Let's look at it first. If I try to offset this vertical line specifically by itself, and I haven't exploded this rectangle because I can't explode it because for some reason it needs to stay 1 unit. So if I go to my offset command here and I type in 5 feet, I'm going to choose the rectangle or that vertical line, but it selects everything. But notice that it makes the entire, let's do that again. It makes the entire rectangle. Well, that is not what I wanted at all. So I'm going to undo that. I just want this vertical line offset 5 feet. So what I'm going to do is go to my construction line, type in O for offset, type in my 5 feet distance, select the line. Once I select this side, even though everything populates, I'm letting my screen know that I want a vertical line. What side do I want it on? I'm going to select the side. And as you can see, just a single guideline of my construction line populates over here to those 5 feet. Let's do that again with this horizontal line. Construction line, O for offset, 5 feet. I'm going to say 4 feet as my distance. Change it up. I'm going to select the top line. Even though everything populates, I want a horizontal line up 4 feet. Select the side I want it on. And I'm going to release or click to drop it with my left click. Now at this time, I have just that horizontal line 4 feet and my vertical line 5 feet out. And then from here, I can do whatever else I need to do. Because let's say I wanted to keep that as 1 unit. And now I can join in lines where needed. Because maybe I had something specific that I was creating. And I have whatever I decided to draw in here. And I need to just move my guidelines that I created. So I'm going to select those all together and get them out of there. Now I have a line that's extended. Remember, when you have a line that you need to shorten, you can go ahead and select it. When you get your blue grippers, you can pull it back to where you want it to end. If I knew measurements specifically, I can type in the measurements, or I can just use my stretch ability by grabbing the grippers to stretch things out or extend things for now. So I hope this video helps with just going over a few quick AutoCAD commands and ways to use them and your different options. your selection window, your cross window, different ways to erase, exploding, which is pretty cool, to break something up that comes in as one unit, ways to grab quick measurements by using your utilities in that quick measurement tool, and then also using those construction lines in your offset commands. Until next time, just go through in your AutoCAD, whether you're using 2021, 2022, or 2018. All of these commands are in conjunction with each other from year to year. So just go ahead and jump into your AutoCAD and continue to play around and test out some of your skills.